Hi, Little Sunshines. Miss Cindy here. This week we're going to be talking about one part of our mealtime routines, which is drinking. So there are two main types of cups that we want our kiddos to be able to drink from, and those two are the open cup and a straw cup. Both of these types of cups really help facilitate the development of oral musculature, or the muscles of our cheeks, lips, tongue, jaw, which provides a really good foundation not only for eating skills and self-feeding skills, but speech skills as well. Um, so when we are thinking about open cups, I know we think mess. Our kiddo's going to tip it over, there's going to be water everywhere, we're going to have to clean it up. So my first tip is just to start small. Get a smaller sized cup that holds like 1 to maybe 3-4 ounces of liquid, so that it's inevitable your kid is probably going to tip it over, so that when it does spill, it's not so overwhelming, there's not so much liquid everywhere, and it's more manageable for your kiddo. And even with that small cup, you don't even have to fill it up all the way. Fill it up like 25% of the way at first, just so there's maybe 2 sips in there, just so we're practicing bringing that cup up to our mouth and tipping it back, and drinking the liquid from it. The one that I have here is from the brand Easy Peasy. There's so many different types of open cups on the market, but I like this one. It's a little bit weighted on the bottom, has a smooth silicone ridge that's like a lot sometimes more comfortable for our kiddos to drink from, and it's a small size, so there's not going to be too much liquid in here if it does tip over. Another type of cup that I do like using sometimes if our kiddos have a really hard time tilting their head back when drinking is called the Flexi Nose Cup. These come in different sizes. This is one of the smaller ones, but these are really great if our kiddo does have a hard time tilting the head back, because this cutout here allows for a space for our nose to be, so we actually don't really have to tilt our head back that much or at all to be able to drink from this. And they're squeezable too, so if you're helping your kiddo at first, you can kind of squeeze the bottom so that the liquid is coming through a smaller area versus like a bigger area. So what you can do is you can start out with thicker liquids if your child is having a harder time with just plain thin water. If your child's milk is a little bit thicker, or maybe even smoothies or applesauce, thicker liquid has a slower flow rate, so it's less overwhelming, and it gives our child more time to respond to the liquid coming into their mouth. So if your kiddo's having a hard time with thin liquids, maybe try starting with thick liquids until they understand the concept. And then also just model how you would drink from a cup. Either get one for yourself or get your own open cup, sit in front of them, sit next to them, and show them how you drink from your cup and say, yum, 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 love this water. And then you can give them the cup and see if they're able to reach out with their hands and bring it to their mouth. And then you can hold the cup from the bottom, help them tip it up, and then bring it back down after they take a sip and set it back down on the table. So that way you're increasing the opportunities that you're practicing bringing the cup up to the mouth instead of just going, take it up to the mouth and bring it back down to the table. Moving on to straw cups, not only are straw cups working on that oral musculature as well, but it can provide a great sensory input, because we're using the muscles of our mouth to suck up that liquid, and it can become kind of a calming and regulating sensation for some of our kiddos. If you're just starting out with straws, you can use what's called the Honey Bear cup, and this cup has a thin straw attached to it, and what you do is you squeeze the bottom where the bear's belly is, and the liquid comes up through the top of the straw, so you don't have to suck up through the straw to drink from it. So it's a great starting place if your kiddo, just to get your kiddo comfortable with the idea that liquid can come up from a straw, having them practice pursing their lips around the straw, and then you can slowly decrease the amount that you're squeezing out and have your kiddo try to squeeze it, and then eventually have them suck up the liquid through the straw. Generally, I would recommend, there are some instances where a thicker straw might be better, but thin straws work our muscles a little bit more, because we have to purse our lips a little bit more around the straw to be able to suck it up, and also it allows for less liquid to be flowing out at once in comparison to a thick straw, so it's a little less overwhelming, and again, not as much liquid for our kiddos to have to maintain and manage in their mouth at one time if it's a thinner straw. And then for both types of cups, we want our kiddos in a supported seated position. We don't want them slouching forward or slouching backward, trying to sip from their cup like that. It just makes it harder, one, to manipulate the cup with your hands if you're in that slouched kind of awkward positioning. And also it affects the positioning of your airway too if your neck is in strange positions, so it can just lead to increased coughing after drinking, and we just don't want that for our kiddo, for the liquid to go down the wrong pipe. So make sure your kiddo's in an uprighted seated position, and just take it one sip at a time and keep practicing. I hope this information was helpful, and have a good rest of your week. Bye.